Welcome, everyone. This is Friday Night Live with Warikoo, and for the next 1 hour, we're going to spend time together. Let's get started and let's have the first caller online.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you have a question for
Thank
me,
you.
Ankur?
Yeah, I have attended the Future Founders Conference and the Failure Conference. So many of the times I think whenever I tell people about my failure and something, it's like people start judging. And even if they are not judging, I keep thinking in my mind that the next person is judging me. So even with my parents also when I say something, I feel like quite worried that if I say about something about failure, it's like everybody gonna judge me and they'll say me that I'm a dumb.
Yes,
So
I
that
totally understand that. And do, do you want to do something about it? Is that the question?
knowing from you is the best thing. Right now the right person to ask the question.
No, I love the question. And the question is very simple. The question essentially is that whenever we all go through failure, right? Everyone goes through failure. And the question then is when we talk about our failures, then we always fear that the person opposite to us is judging us. They are thinking that हम तो गधे हैं, हम बेवकूफ हैं, हमने मेहनत नहीं करी, हमने कुछ नहीं
Yeah,
किया, and that's why we've become what we have become. And
yeah,
there is no escaping that, Ankur. There is never any escaping that because you can't control what people think about you. In fact, even when you're not talking about your failure, they are already thinking about you. They are constantly
exactly.
thinking about you. So do not spend your energy in thinking about what people are thinking about you. That is the worst way to spend your time, your energy, your mental capacity. You can't control it. There is nothing that you can do to control what people think about you. That said, you should spend every bit of your energy thinking about how you think of yourself. So if you are proud of your failure, or if you do not have any regret around your failure, that is the right approach in life. If you feel ashamed of your failure, trust me, everyone will be ashamed of your failure. If you yourself are not proud of your failure, everyone will be not proud of your failure. It starts with you. It starts with the story that you tell yourself in your mind. कि मैं ऐसा हूं, मैंने ये किया, मेरे से ये हुआ, मैंने ये क्यों किया. जितनी हम अपने आप को गालियां देंगे, दुनिया उतनी ही हमें गालियां देंगे. जितना हम अपने आप से प्यार करेंगे,
मैं
दुनिया जो
मतलब
भी बोले,
नहीं
it
सोचता
suddenly
वो,
will not
लेकिन
affect you.
मैं हर मैं मैं हमेशा यही सोचता हूँ कि जो भी लोग सोचे ठीक है, लेकिन आई ऑलवेज ट्राई टू कीप माई सेल्फ पॉजिटिव. बट थिंग इज दैट द मोमेंट आई स्टार्ट थिंकिंग वो होता है ना कि अभी अच्छा सोचा तुरंत पूरा स्टार्ट हो गया. इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक दैट.
And the way to escape that is get into the habit of positive affirmations. हम एक हैबिट फॉर्मिंग प्राणी है. हमारी पूरी कायनात, हमारी पूरा वजूद जो है हमारा, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन हैबिट, where we don't even realize we are doing something because it becomes a habit. Our brain is wired in such a way that it wants to consume the least amount of energy in doing something. So go back to the first day you rode the scooty. You were scared. You were constantly looking कि मैं कहीं ऐसे इधर उधर हो नहीं जाऊंगा, something like that. You were constantly looking at the road. You were constantly looking at people around you.
Yeah.
Today, when you drive the scooty, it's like in your sleep. You drive it almost as if ये तुम्हारा natural self है. तुम पैदा ही हुए थे स्कूटी चलाते हुए, right? So it becomes natural. How has it become natural? Because you have gotten practice, you have gotten habituated to that. So your brain now knows how to navigate the scooty. That's the same thing that happens with positive affirmations. If you close your eyes and positively think about your life, about yourself, it will become a habit. But if you only do it when you need it, the brain is like, यार ये कभी मुझे बुलाता है, कभी नहीं बुलाता है, कभी मुझे बोलता है ऐसे सोचने के लिए, कभी नहीं सोचता, तो मुझे पता नहीं है मुझे करना क्या. I don't know what the habit is. So get into the habit of thinking positive. And that is not something you can force upon yourself. It is just simply saying, like literally every morning you get up, you close your eyes and you says, Mera naam Ankur Pandey hai. And whatever failures I've gone through in life, I've only learned from them. Whatever failures I've gone through in life, I've only learned from them. Whatever failures I've gone through in life, I've only learned from them. If you repeat this to yourself, I am telling you it's magical. After a month, you will believe it. There will be nothing in your mind telling you that your failure is something you should be ashamed of. It will be a life changer. Try it out and then tell me how it works.
I have one more question.
No, so I have to go through lots of people, so I won't be able to take one more. Thank you so much, Ankur calling Ankur. This was fun. Have fun in Varanasi. All the best for your GMAT. I really hope to see you in ISB.
Can I repeat?
He lost. Sorry, he lost me. He didn't lose. He lost me. Anyway, this is something that I have personally witnessed in my life. Positive affirmations are just so powerful. In fact, forget everything else. Habit forming is just so powerful. In fact, if there's one book that I would recommend that I read last year, which was perhaps for me the book of the year, is this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a brilliant book, very easy to read, but very hard to imbibe in your life. And it's all about how do you form small habits in your life that literally change your life forever. It's powerful. Habit forming is powerful. अगर आपको किसी चीज की आदत लग जाती है, you suddenly don't ever forget it. And then you want to get habituated to the right things. It just works wonderfully. Anyway, let's get, and yeah, thank you so much, Mani. The Power of Habits is also a really good book, and I would strongly recommend that as well. Okay, let's get the next caller. So I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Somi Datta, Frugal Fun. Let's just start with that. Yes.
Hi, Ankur.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Can you please help me with the right pronunciation for your name?
You can call it Somi.
Somi. Okay, that's what I figured. Because it was a Bengali name, I wasn't so sure. Is it Somi? Is it Shomi? Is it something else? So it's like
technically it's Shomi, but you know, everyone it says Somi, and I'm sort of used to being called that, so that's fine.
Awesome. Yeah. What do you do?
I actually work as a management consultant. So I'm actually also an ISB alum from the class of 2014.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. Awesome. High five. It's like an ISB series today. Okay, awesome. Do you have a question for me or anything?
Yeah, I was actually hoping to know your thoughts on social media. So I'll tell you where I'm coming from. When you started, and maybe when I started as well, social media was not really a thing, right? It eventually came up, and while I think that it's really a great platform, it puts everyone on the same front and crowdsourcing and all the good stuff. But I personally feel that sometimes it also makes it so easy for everyone to have a voice, and it can be very confusing for young minds and also overwhelming at times. So I would really want to know where you stand on it, and what are your thoughts on how we should be using social media for our good, you know?
It's a great question and a very hard one to answer. I don't think I'm nearly qualified to do so, but let me take a shot at it. I actually feel that social media is possibly the greatest weapon of change, both good and bad, that we have witnessed and possibly will in the foreseeable future. Like the only thing that will come close will be the next level of virtual reality, which will just get us hooked on to a completely different interface. But until that happens, I feel that social media is this drug that has been unleashed. It's actually scientifically a drug because each time you do that, the dopamine shot just hits you and you get addicted to it and you want to do more of it and more of it. And I feel that when you're young and impressionable, there it does need some level of guidance to get you to see the power in the positive manner of it, because it's like uncharted, right? Anything can happen, anything can be consumed, anything can be witnessed.
Right.
But personally, I have benefited a lot from it. Personally, because I have seen how that works and how beautifully it can. It is something that I would spend a lot of time with my kids to help them navigate through that. Because when they go to something like a YouTube, they have two choices. Either they can go and hear Naval Ravikant's podcast or go and see, and I only got to know this name 2 weeks back, Carrie Minati's video. And Carrie Minati's video is a completely different animal, and Naval Ravikant is a
Right.
completely different animal. And those are choices that anyone gets to exercise at any point of time. So I feel that the appreciation for the finer things stems from real life, what people do in their normal course of action, and it manifests itself in the online world. I I
Right.
genuinely believe that people are not two different people online and offline. It's the same thing that is either hidden or suppressed that manifests itself
Hmm.
offline. So if you've raised right as a parent, and if you have yourself adopted the right habits, it will manifest itself in the right adoption in the online world. If you haven't and it's suppressed or whatever the case may be, then it will come out sooner than later, and that could be horrible. Um, so yeah, that's the only thing that I know of.
No, thanks for answering it so beautifully. Bye.
Bye. That was a lovely thing. If there's one thing that I can take from this conversation is, and this is funny because I have had two conversations earlier this evening exactly on the same thing, which is we all have to get to a point where we are taking care of our survival financially through a job, through any hustle that we can. But once that is done, we need to feed our soul if our work is not that. And what Somi is doing right now, what I am doing, what a lot of people do is make those active choices in life, which is my job is just my job. It's going to pay my bills. It's going to give me financial freedom. It's going to give me financial stability. But if I don't thoroughly from my inner self enjoy it, then I'm just going to stop at that and not going to make it my life. Because I will have almost a parallel second life where I will have a side gig, where I will have a YouTube channel, where I will go live on Instagram, where I'll create something, I'll sing, I'll do whatever is it that gives me genuine joy. And that's how I will live my life. And if I do it well, mind you, and I'm a living example of that, if I do it well and I genuinely enjoy it, and there is no pressure on me to make money of it, no pressure on me to make it financially viable, so on, at some point of time, I will be able to unlock value from it. At some point of time, it will make money for me. At some point of time, it will compound and compound in such a way that you will be left surprised at how much something that you genuinely enjoyed has now become big and can actually cater to your livelihood, and you don't need a job anymore. And that's what I would hope and pray for so many of you. There is a job. It's important. I recognize that. Money is important. I recognize that. It is necessary. I recognize that. But don't make it the sole purpose of your life. Because if you do that, you're just going to be miserable on your deathbed. You're going to be miserable when you haven't spent time with your kids, with your parents, with your loved ones, when you've just been consumed with what your boss is telling you, what your colleagues want from you, those emails, those pings, those chats, and whatnot. And suddenly 30, 40 years of your life are gone, and you're like, fuck, where did these go? When did my kids become so old? When did I become so old? Where did my life go? And that will just be a life of regret. It'll just be a life where you'll be just dead. And I think we can relate to that because we've seen our parents go through that. We've seen our parents, and that was the only choice they had. It was just about survival. It was just about making ends meet. And they had a really hard time. We don't necessarily have that hard times. We don't. We're very privileged. Most of us are. And that means that if you are in a spot where you have a job and it pays you enough to cover your base, leave it there and then go and feed your soul with something that you genuinely want to do, which you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs. And you will sooner than later find a way to make money out of it. It is inevitable. All right, let's go ahead. Oh my God, there's so many. Work these days is quite stressful and becomes quite difficult. Then to work another thing at the same time, relaxes, recharge as well. You know, the way to think about this. So number one is on stress. Stress is not what you feel when you work hard. Stress is what you feel when you work hard and you don't know why you're working hard. Stress is not when you work hard. It is when you work hard and you do not know why you're working hard. So when you find stress in your work, it's only because you don't find purpose in it. You don't find value in it. You don't find anything that drives you. And yes, it is going to be stressful in that environment. But that is why you need the second part even more. It's not about time. Don't make the fucking excuse of time. Everyone on earth has the same 24 hours. What's your fucking excuse? Everyone has the same 24 hours. I have the same 24 hours. Elon Musk has the same 24 hours. Mukesh Ambani has the same 24 hours. Mark Zuckerberg has the same 24 hours. How you choose to live those is what is most important. If you're going to come back home, drown yourself in Netflix, drown yourself in crappy content, drown yourself in just binge watching shit, of course you're going to numb your senses. You're going to have the stress of your work. You will numb it and feel like, oh, I am relaxed. But no, all you've done is just suppressed the emotions and you've not brought in any positivity out. But I guarantee you, even if you're physically tired, you go for a fucking run and you genuinely enjoy running, you will feel lighter. You will feel more energized. You will feel more alive. It's nothing to do with physical energy. It's all to do with what your mind is telling you. Take it from someone who does it. I am not just randomly bullshitting right now. I'm a living example of having lived this for several years. Fuck the excuses that you give yourself. Fuck the world that tells you you should not do this or you shouldn't be this way. Please heal yourself. Take care of yourself. It's just one fucking life. Why would you not want to live it on your terms? Why would you not want to live it the way you want to live it? What you're good at, what makes you genuinely happy? Why the fuck would you listen to anyone when they are going to die and it doesn't matter? All you will be left with is just regret. Just fucking regret. काश मैंने ये कर लिया होता, काश मैंने ये सोचा होता, काश मैंने वो बात सुन ली होती, काश मैंने अपनी बात सुन ली होती. All of that. Anyway, I feel very passionately about this and I will defend to death. All right, let's get the next caller on board. And how are
Just
you?
just got back from office. I'm good. How are you?
Very well. That's quite late to come back from office. So for those, and I want to introduce Deepshika. So for, most of you may not know her, and that's fine. So Deepshika works at Shree Cement. She leads training and development for the Shree Cement group. And how I know her is because she's the reason why I got to work with Shree Cement quite closely on multiple training assignments across all of their plants, or most of their plants exactly. And she's a very deep thinker. I loved having very deep conversations with her. I genuinely enjoyed my time with her. She's, in fact, the one who helped me through the Varanasi streets when I'd gone there in March. So thank you so much for that. I've had lovely times with you. But what's up? How is the lockdown treating you?
So we are contained in a colony. We live here. You know where we live. It's about 2.5 hours from Jaipur. So yeah, we are here, and we are not supposed to go anywhere, but everything else is available here. So yeah, if I could
Okay.
show you, you have seen it. So
Yeah. And I hope there are no cases in the colony.
not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. That's a very mature way of saying it. Not yet. Okay. If you're comfortable speaking about this, I do want to very quickly go through how you made this massive and not trivial transition from classroom trainings to complete online delivery and change the course that.
That was just my job. I think I was just trying to do that. So yeah.
Well, you did a good job then.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if people will benefit from it. All I can say is that just to give you a context, so in Shree Cement, we didn't do any other training other than classroom. So it was only classroom training, either on site or off site. And suddenly the lockdown happened. It was as sudden as it could be because on Saturday I was making a schedule that who will be coming to office, will make a roster and all of that. And by Monday morning, we knew that no one is going to come to office. So, and we are a factory, we live in a colony, so we have never had that situation of having a proper arrangement to work from home. So, yes, it was all of a sudden. And people are used to going to office, have a job, and suddenly people had nothing to do. So, there were two challenges. One, everyone had a lot of time, and after 2 3 days, they didn't know what to do with the time. And that was the best time to actually for the learning team, because otherwise all of us know that when everything else is going fine, no one wants to go and do training, and they're like, why do I need to actually. So it was what we did is two things. I would not say that we did it immediately. We took about 1 or 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we figured out, we launched an online platform, which is an AI powered platform, and that's called Edcast. Besides that, we leveraged, there were a lot of people who were doing webinars. So we actually developed a team of SMEs who started evaluating these things. And so the net result is that in the month of April, if we compare it with April 9, 2019, in April 2020, we actually more than doubled the number of learning hours, 4 times the coverage of people at 1/10 the cost. And
Wow.
and we repeated that actually the numbers increased in May. So, and we hope we are going to, like, we will get better or something. So,
Fantastic, man. That's quite impressive. That is quite impressive. Brilliant. And this is not easy. Trust me, when you have such a big moving engine, and Shree Cement is not a small company by any means, it's just very, very hard to make this machinery work. So congratulations on doing that. That's commendable.
thank you.
Awesome. Do you have a question for me?
You're always in the public space. Also, you keep saying that people grow, and I believe that we learn different perspectives, and we learn to see things from different perspectives. And at times, it happens that what we think about and how we think about it changes, and it could actually be a 180-degree change in 1 year or 2 years or something. For people like me who are not as expressive on social media, it's okay. As in, even if you change, you change. And but you may make a point, and 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line, you may not agree with what you said. And people, when they are not, when they don't have an identity, there are times that they're not too kind in their comments. And I know you would say that I don't care, but having said that, there would be questions where they may just question you that 2 years back you said this, and now you're saying this. So how exactly have you ever faced such a situation, and how do you deal with it, and how do you handle it?
No, I haven't faced such a situation, and I'm very surprised why I haven't, because the reality is that I've changed and changed considerably over the last several years, and I have been documenting my journey all through. Like, forget everything else. If you were to go to my blog from 2006 when I was at ISB, I was like, "Kis ghade ne wo sab likha hai?" I don't recognize my own self. I'm embarrassed by my own self. I'm ashamed of the old self. And I'm like, wow, this like that. I was that juvenile. Huh? I was that dumb and that naive and that whatever it is. So I like this, and I think you know me well enough to know that I actually don't care. And the reason why I don't is because my identity is not attached to this. This is not my life. This is a part of my life that I am absolutely okay giving up any day because it doesn't do anything except just give me joy. So if it stops giving me joy, I will just cut it. Simple as that. I am not a celebrity. This is not my means of livelihood. This is not why I am able to pay my bills. This isn't something that gives me what my work would. This is just genuinely something that I love doing, would want to do, and would want to do for the longest time ever. But if it stops giving me that kind of joy that I seek from it, that's it. Khatam. And that could happen because I lose interest. It could happen because people don't get me anymore. It could happen because it's just becoming very difficult, so on. Which is why, at least as a principle, I never talk politics and religion on social media ever, because those are the most sensitive things. Like I will never go on record. But उसके बाद तो लोग change होते ही रहते हैं.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
that was the question I had. So, thank
Cool.
you so much.
Thank you so much, Deepshika. It is always lovely to speak to you, and I will catch you very soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
You too.
Nisarg Shah. Nisarg Shah. You're going live with me in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds right now. Hey,
Hi,
Nisarg. What's
Hey,
up?
how are you?
Very well. Where are you based on, Nisarg?
Finally, I got a chance. I've been requesting since.
Great. Yeah. No. Thanks for the bank transfer this morning, and that's the
Yes.
only reason I agreed.
Yep.
Where are you from?
I'm right now in Tampa, in Florida.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Acha. What time is it, man? Acha. This is morning. Okay.
Afternoon.
Great.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I have my
Exactly.
friend with me as well. We have
Hey,
been.
Ankur. How are you?
What's up? Very well. What's your name?
Smith, SMIT Smith.
Okay. SMIT. Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We have been,
Is that a spin on your actual name, or your actual name is Smith?
No, my actual name is Smith. Actually,
Great.
I'm
All right.
Gujarati,
Perfect.
and a lot of people confuse it over
Ah,
here. They feel it's my spin
Very
name.
They're like, are you missing an H? Are you sure you're not missing an H? Yeah. But awesome. And what do you guys do? Do you guys work together?
Yes. So we started a company over here like a year and a half back.
Oh, wonderful.
So we came as students. So we both knew each other before this in Ahmedabad. We are from Ahmedabad. And then we were lucky enough to get into, the same college over here for our masters. And then we started a pet e-commerce company over here after our graduation.
That is the best country to start a pet e-commerce company in.
Yep, absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How's it going?
Not so well. Not so well.
Yeah.
And is it because of the market, or is it because of COVID, or is it because of execution? Like, what do you think?
So first thing is like execution, I would say. That is like the primary factor. Recently, the market is also not helping. That's for sure. But I'm sure that even if the execution, even if the market was good, a lot of things that we did in executing it would not have helped us. Where we thought we would be. And it was more like we started it out as like it was a passion project for both of us when we were back home in India. We wanted to do it back home in India, but then we moved here, and then we got an opportunity to do it here. And we made a few mistakes in like choosing the right people, like who to work with,
who to get money from,
especially. Because we were in a very like tough situation, because it's very uncertain to start a company as a student in US with visa restrictions and all of that. So we thought we can trust a few people and start it with them, but then it suddenly became like toxic after a few months, and then we just jumped on that opportunity. We didn't know that we had an option to say no and walk away from that. But that's where we are.
No, it's been a great learning experience. Like it was our first company, and we always wanted to do this in India. But then we decided, we got the opportunity and we did it. Learned a lot of things, but now since everything has been going south over here, so we are planning to move back. Yeah, we're planning to do something else over there.
No, great, man. I'd love the experience and the learning you have had in the last 1.5 years to help India and to see your next gig happened right here. This is
Absolutely. That's the plan. Yep.
yeah. No, totally,
So,
man. Awesome.
we had a question.
Please.
What what things should you consider before finding the right investor and in finding the right people to start working with, be it employees, partners, investors, anything?
Yeah, I actually spoke about this actively in about a week back or so when I was taking this webinar on fundraising and finding a co-founder. And there are, at least when it comes to the co-founder or the founding team, the early few people that you work with, there are essentially three things. One is the skills that they bring, the execution capability that they bring, and the values that they live by. And I personally feel that, especially at a co-founder level, which is the two of you and maybe the first few really, really important people, there cannot be any measure of value conflict, any at all, because that will come to bite you and you don't know when. You just don't know when. So it will only happen in a moment of crisis, and the crisis could be money, the crisis could be relationships, the crisis could be ego, the crisis could be market failure, the crisis could be growth not happening, whatever the case may be. And that's when value conflicts just become visible and stark. So I would say if there is anything, then the first few people, it doesn't matter if they are the most skilled, they don't have to be the best engineers, they don't have to be the best operational guy, the best marketers, and so on. Because if they're smart, they'll figure that shit out. It may take some longer time, but they will. But there is no compromise on the ethos with which they live their life. Like their approach towards money, their approach towards people, their approach towards respect, their approach towards why are they in it in the first place? What do they want from this? So investors, very different ballgame. The one thing which I'm shocked most people do not realize, and it's no fault because I also realized it the hard way, so I can't blame anyone, is investors are not in the business of making businesses work. Investors are in the businesses of entering and exiting businesses. That's the business. They will make money when they exit your business. They will not make money when you become a big business. No, they will only make money when they leave you and leave the business. That means their incentive is always and always aligned with you making them more money at an exit. And that means either of two things. It means one, you're growing as fuck and you are on this rocket ship and you're clearly on a path to do an IPO or become a really big company or get acquired by someone and so on. Or you are constantly fundraising. Because that's the only way they know that their asset price is now bigger than what it was when they invested. So in the absence of these two things, they're like, fuck, this is like a dead investment. मुझे मेरा पैसा वापस दो, मुझे मेरा time वापस दो, मुझे मेरा ये करो. And then they start making any possible move to get whatever they can squeezed out of the company. So if they put in $1, they're like, no, fuck, can I get 90 cents back, 80 cents back, 70 cents back, whatever. I just need that back. And that's when it becomes not a pleasant.
So yeah, it's a pure like a monetary outlook, while from an entrepreneur's perspective, it's value driven in terms of providing value to the consumer or bringing in something. Yeah.
For an entrepreneur, the color of the money is as important as the money. And what I mean by the color of the money is, what is the nature of that money? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from an operator? Is it coming from an investor? Is it coming from someone? Like when I would invest, it would be a very different color of money than if, let's say, forget everyone else, my dad would invest.
Correct.
Right? Because my dad's not an operator. He's lived his life just being in a job. He doesn't know anything. He may have the money to invest, but he doesn't have anything that can help the startup. And that becomes a very different animal.
Right.
Absolutely.
Did you fundraise for Nearby in the initial stages? or like I don't know the background story.
No, the background is we raised fuckloads of money, man. We raised it from Sequoia Capital. We raised this insane.
Wow.
In all, nearby raised $43 million.
Wow.
So we've raised and we're a big we're $100 million company, but the problem is, and that is success by itself, but it's not nearly as successful because we thought we would be a $1 billion company. So the money we raised was with the expectation that we'll be far bigger than who we eventually became. And that is the rift. The rift is not $100 million company बहुत बड़ी होती है 700 crore कर रहे हैं. But that doesn't make anything. What makes is shit. You raised 300 crores, not to make 700 crores. You raised 300 crores to become 3,000 crores. And if that didn't happen, then unfortunately it's not that cool.
Right. Awesome, man.
Thanks a lot.
You so much.
Yeah. Awesome. All the best. Have a good time. Stay safe in the US and take care, man.
Yes.
We'll see you all in India soon.
Yes.
All right. Thanks.
Get it. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so we're at the end of this Q&A. We're going to do this every Friday night at 10 p.m. If you like this, please share it in your friend circle. Invite them over next week. You also, of course, join. We will find a way of getting more and more people. I like to not repeat someone, but honestly, I lose track of the usernames and they're just so confusing. So I'm not good at that. We will have these conversations as open-ended as they are and as lovely as they are. Get to exchange positive vibes, feel happy about the world, feel happy about ourselves, feel happy about where we are in lives. And that's the motive. It's just to bring a nice, happy closure to the week and to bring in the weekend in a nice, joyous manner. But until then, I hope all of you have had a haircut and you're not struggling like I am. But I will see you next week, Friday, 10 p.m. This is Ankur Warikoo signing off. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that whenever we put up a new video, you're aware of it.